And welcome back. Well, the COVID-19 pandemic is putting a lot of pressure on families, from loss of jobs and isolation to physical and mental abuse and alcoholism. Here to empower families with legal needs in times of crisis are Tony Carls, the president of Sterling Law Offices, along with the CEO, Jeff Hughes. Good morning to you, gentlemen. Good morning to you both, guys. Let's talk about this a little bit. What are some of the current pressures that families are experiencing right now during this crisis?
Yeah, I mean, as you can imagine, families going through a legal crisis, I mean, they're in pain and stressful. And then you add COVID and you layer that on top of that with all of the uncertainty and the fear that comes along with that. It can aggravate an already very tumultuous situation. I can give you one quick example of that. We had a client just last week. She reached out to us, and she's a nurse. And when COVID happened, she was naturally very concerned about her young son that her and her ex-husband co-parent. And she didn't want to bring the virus home to him. So she went to her ex and said, hey, could you just hang on to him for a little bit so I can understand what's happening at work? Am I going to be exposed to COVID and so forth? And as the weeks went on, she began to really understand that she's not any more exposed to COVID than you or I going to the grocery store. So she went back to her ex. She said, hey, let's get our schedule going again. And that knucklehead father just said no and started using COVID as air cover to withhold the son from his mom. And so, we see painful situations like that all the time. And we're doing our best to help answer those questions and provide guidance to people going through something totally new in their life.
Yeah, we really try to respond with, quick, timely information all the time. We want clients to really feel empowered, feel like they know how to make best decisions for themselves and their families. And just like in this story, this individual was able to reach out to us through our social media platforms and, get the information she needed so she can get the support that she needed.
I think about how COVID-19 has really affected so many jobs, and I wonder how it's affected you guys in the law sector, and especially family law practices and even court.
Yeah, I mean, Tiffany, much of what we do is obviously be an advocate and a fighter for our clients in the court systems. And like many institutions, the courts, the family courts in particular, just shut down more or less with very few exceptions. And we've got 72 counties here in Wisconsin. As you can imagine, 72 counties handling courts really on their own schedule as they see fit, with some judges very comfortable with technology and digital platforms and how to move cases forward, and some judges, not so much. So we've had to be very creative with the courts and with our clients to help our clients' cases move forward. More than anything, they've got an absolute burning desire to be out of the court system, to be away from lawyers so they can move forward with their life. And so it's really compelled the judges, the courts, and the attorneys and clients to think of all new creative ways to resolve conflict and to move their cases forward without some of the mechanisms that you would see in typical court with hearings and so forth.
Yeah, we really saw that, just like the courts, there was firms that were more progressive and firms that were, not necessarily set up to handle this. Us being a more digital firm from the start, we were able to really handle this and pivot quickly for our clients. Really within a day to 2 days, we were able to transition from working, primarily in the office, scheduling everything in the office, to, working from home, just due to how our business is set up from a digital perspective, having everything essentially backboned through the cloud and set up in a way that allows us to advocate for our clients, whether that's in the office or working from home.
Well, I want you guys to talk about that a little, because truly Sterling Law has been on the forefront of doing this online. So talk about how you helped the community through this time with some of those online videos.
Yeah, when COVID happened back in March, as we all can remember, it seemed like day to day or even hour to hour information was coming in and changing so rapidly. And so I remember we had to kind of jump into hypervigilance mode to try to understand what issues our clients were facing and how to serve them and get information in front of them, in front of our communities that we live in, on how to navigate some of this. Like whenever Governor Evers issued his safer at home order, for example, that was brand new to all of us. And we had clients that were calling us with anxiety, and in some cases panic of like, oh my goodness, how is this going to affect my placement schedule? Can we exchange children? Where can we do that at? And is it the last parent who has the children when the quarantine starts that's going to keep them for, weeks or months, or who knows how long this is going to go? And so really trying to understand how the governor's order and the court orders kind of interplayed with each other was important. And so we put videos out on that. Another one was obviously the stimulus check. As you can imagine, with this new money coming into families, that created a lot of opportunity for conflict. Would this affect, is this income? Are we going to figure out child support on that? What about folks that are in arrears? How is that all going to interplay? So we put videos out as well to really help clients understand that and legally how it impacted them and their families in their particular situations.
Yeah, Tiffany, we really believe we're called to empower our clients to make decisions that are healthy for them and their family. And kind of as the CARES Act was going through Congress, we were really actively engaged with reading the different versions of the bill, and we asked our attorneys to really try to digest and understand what was going to happen as it related to the stimulus check. And so within a week of kind of that bill passing, we had our understanding of it. We were able to go and post videos on YouTube and Facebook and really, in layman's terms, explain what was going to happen as it related to, like Jeff was alluding to, what happens if you're in back child support? Is this going to be a taxable event? What parent would get the child rebate if it was a two-parent household where they weren't living in the same home? So things like that. And that was really an opportunity that we looked at as a way to service our clients and service our communities.
It's true. And we're running out of time, so I'm just going to tease people that they have to watch those videos for more answers. But in general, you guys are really doing an incredible job of changing with the times and adapting and doing so much digitally. You're even putting out videos that aren't just about family law.
Right. Yeah, we put out videos on meal prep. We interviewed a teacher on how to help with homeschooling, another person on just the mindset of how do you go from working in an office environment, then bam, you're working from home and all the stress that entails while your children are sitting next to you being homeschooled by you. And so how do you navigate all that? How emotionally do you make those adjustments as quick as we have to while dealing with COVID? It's been interesting, giving us fun opportunities beyond just, giving legal advice and solving legal problems. We've really kind of loved that opportunity that COVID's brought for us in that way.
Yeah, we really feel like we're called to help families work through difficult life transitions. And, being part of this community means empowering not only those that are going through the legal process, but providing them information on how to avoid getting in touch with us in a legal capacity through a divorce or paternity action. In a perfect world, we don't exist because families are staying together. You don't live in a perfect world, but we can still invest in our content and invest in our communities and help show them ways to empower themselves and move towards unity and togetherness.
Oh, I love that. That's a perfect statement right there. You move towards unity and togetherness. Thank you so much for joining me, gentlemen. Tony and Jeff, it was a pleasure.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sterling Law Offices is a proud sponsor of TMJ4's ongoing campaign, We're Open. To learn more about Sterling, just visit them online at sterlinglawyers.com. You can also follow them on Facebook with updated information and stories and lots of those videos they spoke about as